Hello, welcome back. I'm Amy for anyone that is new here, and I am back with another review video today. This time we are reviewing the General's charcoal pencils, and this is a non-sponsored review, so all my thoughts and opinions are my own, and I'm here to give you an honest review of what I think of this set. So without further ado, let's jump right in. So firstly, I bought this set of pencils from Amazon, and it was quite a large set, and I did buy this for $24.99, and at the time it was on sale. But you can buy these pencils in smaller set or in open stock as well, so just as individual pencils if you want to. And I have to say, my initial thoughts on the set and prices is really good. I think that these pencils are reasonably priced, and I didn't feel that they were too expensive. So now let's look at the presentation. So the charcoal pencils came in a cardboard box with a plastic front for protection, and I just love the black and orange coloured packaging. I think it looks really nice, and these pencils really stand out. I love the little leaflet that was contained in the box as well. It was filled with loads of information on how to use these pencils, gradient charts and example pieces, and I thought that that was a really nice touch to include with this set. So if we take a closer look at these pencils, one thing I loved about this set was that you got 2 of every pencil. So I thought that was great value for money, and the pencils look like really great quality as well. They came sharpened and they were really well protected in individual slots, so I wasn't worried about damages or breakages. There was also a huge amount of charcoal blocks, and they also included a sharpener as well, which I thought was great because this set is so easy to travel with and you have everything you need in the set. The pencils themselves are really well made, so the build quality is excellent. The wooden cases are thick and sturdy, and there's no visible breakages on the barrels, and the lead is also centered in the wood casing as well, so that means the lead is well protected. I also found that these pencils sharpened really well as well, so that was very surprising because charcoal are very fragile normally, so I was really pleased about that. And that does also go for the carbon pencils as well. They were well made and they also sharpened to a good point as well. Now, the set of charcoal pencils I'm showing right now is a set of horrors. I bought this really cheap set of charcoal pencils a few months ago, and the quality of these pencils is really bad compared to the General's pencils. The build quality is really poor, and I had so much trouble getting dark values with these pencils, and I will show you a side-by-side comparison of the effects I got with both pencil brands. So I find that the General's pencil lays down so well onto the paper, whereas I had to take a lot more care with the cheap charcoal pencils. Also, the cheap pencils had a very brown tinge to them, whereas the Generals retained their pigment and value. Don't even get me started on how bad that cheap charcoal block is. As you can see, the General's charcoal block is really intense, whereas the cheap one is so light, and when I blend it out, the pigment is just completely swept away and off the paper. Honestly, there is no comparison there. The General's charcoal is so much better than the other pencils, and I do find the General's charcoal block gets in really dark and intense values, which is great for creating contrast in drawings. Now I want to talk a little bit about the different pencils that you get in the General set, and I'll start with the lightest shade, which is the HB Hard. So this pencil is a lot lighter than the other charcoal pencils, and I find this pencil is good for lighter shading and value. We also have the 2B, 4B and 6B charcoal pencils, which are slightly darker and good for mid-tones and darker values. And then there are some carbon pencils and charcoal blocks for very dark values. They have also included a white charcoal block as well and white charcoal pencil, so there's a great range there for creating lighter tones, darker shading and highlights as well. So let's see these pencils in action. I am drawing a rose for this little demonstration, and as you can see, the charcoal block just glides over the paper and fills in a lot of the surface area really quickly. It's also a very intense black, and when you go over charcoal layers, it becomes even darker. So this is great for creating a lot of shadows, shading and value, and those are all important things for getting in a lot of contrast in charcoal drawings. So when it comes to blending, I find that the charcoal block blends out so smoothly. I really don't have to apply a lot of pressure onto the paper to get it to blend with the paintbrush. It blends out very smoothly and it creates that smoky effect, which I love, and it's so easy to add even more contrast by going back in and adding more powder. So if you're wanting to create a very dark background against a light foreground, the charcoal blocks in this set are amazing for that. I also created a few blotchy details in the background by using the kneaded eraser, and I think the effect it's given is really cool. So you can create some amazing effects by combining these pencils with other materials that aren't included in this set. Next we're moving on to the rose, and I used a 4B pencil mainly for the entire rose. So see what I mean about how these pencils are good value for money. I just adjusted values by changing up the pressure I applied onto the pencil, and that helped me get in light and dark shading and a lot of contrast. I find that these pencils just lay onto the paper so well, and it is so easy to create layers because the more charcoal you add, the more intense those shadows become. So layering and blending is so easy to do with these pencils. Again, the blending process for these pencils is soft, light and easy to do. I find that I don't have to apply a lot of pressure at all onto the paper, so there really isn't any risk at all of damaging the paper. And for the highlights, I think highlights show up so well over the charcoal, and I have actually used charcoal pencils before and found that it was really hard to pull up highlights, so the fact it's so easy to with these pencils is a huge bonus for me. So all in all, I think the General's charcoal pencils are a great art product to have. I think that they are affordable and a great option for beginners, and not only are they good for beginners and affordable, but they're good quality as well. I hope that you really did enjoy this review. If you did, please do let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video. Bye!